In today's video, we are making Stollen, German crisp Stollen, and this is super delicious, super fruity, and an amazing Christmas delicacy that is enjoyed throughout Germany during Christmas and in the holiday season. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel and thank you so much for being here. My name is Benedicta and in today's video I am really excited. It's almost Christmas and over here in Germany, one of the lovely delicacies you are sure to find in the supermarket, at the bakery, in homes is Stollen. So this is a piece of Stollen that I made and we are about to cut it. But before we dig into or we get started with cutting our Stollen, I would love to show you how Stollen is prepared. It's not a tedious process to prepare Stollen, but it's time consuming due to the numerous times you are going to prove your dough. So without spending much time, let's get right into making our Stollen. Some people call it crisp Stollen. So let's get started in making German crisp Stollen. See you! So we'll begin by soaking our raisins in rum. Over here I have this rum which I bought several years ago and today I'm going to use it for my Stollen. So we are going to use about 200 grams of the raisins. You can just add as much as you want or reduce it to your preference. Soaking your raisins in rum before using it for your Stollen is going to keep it moist and it's also going to make it very flavorful. So you do not need a lot of the rum for this. Just make sure that every piece of your raisin is well coated with this, and at least for 200 grams you are going to need about 150 ml of rum or even less, but having it this way is the right way to go. So you do this prior to you making Stollen the night before. In case you are making it the same day, then soaking it in for about 8 hours is just perfect. So these are the ingredients that we need for our Stollen. I decided to show you how it comes in the store packaging. And of course we have our raisins which was soaked in rum the night before. This is how it's looking now, about 8 hours in the rum. In addition to that, we have our flour. We are using 500 grams of flour for our Stollen, so I have it divided into 2 portions of 250 grams each over here. We also have 130 ml of milk. In addition to that, we have marzipan, which is totally optional. I have 200 grams of that. We have 200 grams of butter. We have half a teaspoon of salt, and for our spices, we have half a teaspoon each of cardamom powder, cinnamon powder, and clove powder. In addition to that, we also have about 75 grams of sugar, 60 grams of candied orange, and 40 grams of candied lemon. You can just balance it out as you please or add more to suit your preference. We also have 50 grams of almond flour, and of course we need yeast, and over here we have 10.5 grams of dry yeast. So we'll begin by draining our rum from our raisins with a strainer. Yes, just shake it off and make sure that you get rid of the excess rum in there, and then you set it aside to use later. In a mixing bowl, we are pouring in 250 grams of our flour, and we'll be adding a tablespoon of our sugar. We'll also add our salt, and we'll be adding our dry yeast. Ensure that your dry yeast doesn't come into direct contact with your salt, otherwise it's going to kill it up. We'll mix everything well together and then we take it to our mixer. We'll be adding our milk, and please make sure that your milk is lukewarm to help activate your yeast. And we'll be kneading this until we achieve a smooth, tough dough. And this should be anywhere between 8 to 10 minutes depending on the speed setting of your mixer. You can also knead it by hand, and anywhere between 10 to 12 minutes should be good. So we'll be transferring our dough to a bowl, or you can keep it in the same bowl. It depends on what you have available. I cover it up with a cling film and I will be proving this in my oven. In previous years, I just proved it without turning my oven on the proof setting because I didn't have that. But this oven comes with a proven setting, and I'll be proving that for about 45 minutes. If your oven doesn't come with a proven setting, then you can just put your dough in the oven for about an hour without turning it on. So before we are done with proving our dough, we are pouring our remaining 250 grams of flour into a pan. We'll add our almond flour, we'll add our remaining sugar and all our spices. And this is the cardamom powder, the clove powder, and also our cinnamon powder. And we'll be mixing everything well together. We'll then add our butter to it, and this should relatively be at room temperature, and we'll begin mixing everything together. So after about 45 minutes, we are done proving our dough. This is how it's looking like. And remember, if you do not have the proven setting, you should do this for about an hour. We are going to introduce our proof dough to our almond flour, butter and spice mixture, and we'll be mixing this for about 10 minutes. So once we are done mixing our dough, we'll be adding our raisins, our candied orange and our candied lemon, and we'll be using our hand to incorporate this in. We'll begin in the bowl and then we transfer it onto our working surface. We'll be transferring our dough to this working surface that I got off Amazon. It's made of silicone and it works really amazing. It's adhesive, and I just sprinkled some flour on. You don't have to add flour anytime you are working on this, but yeah, I love to add it because of the butter composition in our dough. And that's how it's looking like. We have it in a round piece and we are going to place it into another pan and we are going to proof this. Again, I'm going to proof this in my oven for about 45 minutes, but in case you don't have the proof setting, then 1 hour should be fine. So this is how our dough is looking after about 45 minutes of proving. We are going to roll this out and shape it into our typical Stollen shape. Today we'll be using the Stollen mold that I got from Kaufland. You can get this on Amazon, and this is the Dr. Edgar mold. It works amazing. I've had this for about 3 years now, and I think this is about the 3rd time I'm using it. And I love that it comes in one of the traditional Christmas colors. It brings this festive season alive in your home when you are baking. But in case you don't have a mold such as this, you can just cut out a baking paper and clip both ends with a stapler and you are good to go. I have a video on this on the channel and I'll be linking that at the end of this video. So after rolling out our dough, we are going to roll out our marzipan and put it in the middle of our dough, roll it over and then create our typical Stollen shape. So once we are done rolling the ends over the marzipan, please ensure to seal your end prior to rolling the dough over. Once we roll over our dough, we are going to take the raisins that are exposed at the top of our dough, of our Stollen dough, because once it is all done, it's going to taste bitter. It tastes really bitter when it gets bent, especially for those who are going to bake this without the Stollen mold. It is very important to take it out. So once we are done placing our Stollen in our mold, we are going to bake it at 180 degrees Celsius for about 50 minutes, and this should be on the top and bottom heating setting. So after about 50 minutes, voila, this is our Stollen. And we are going to take Stollen from the mold, place it on a cooling rack. Over here we have some butter which we are going to melt in the microwave. We'll sprinkle some sugar on top of our Stollen, and then we rub our Stollen very well with the melted butter. So this is how our Stollen is looking. Just take a look at the base of it and the top of it as well. Please do well to bake this according to your oven heating level. So you may need to increase the time or decrease it. So once we are done coating our Stollen with our butter, we'll leave it for it to cool down completely. When our Stollen has completely cooled down, we are going to wrap it up in an aluminum foil. So we are going to place it down like so, sprinkle some powdered sugar at the bottom of it or on top of the aluminum foil. We place our Stollen on it and then sprinkle some of the powdered sugar on top and around the Stollen. Please, you need to be very generous with your powdered sugar, and this is because we are going to wrap our Stollen up for quite a long time. This can be left out for about a week or two before you cut your Stollen. Stollen is often prepared during the winter season and it's pretty cool during that time. It's cold, so you can leave it out in a cool, dry place and it can last for that duration of time without going bad. But in case you live in Africa and you want, in the warmer climates and you want to enjoy Stollen, then I may suggest that you keep it in your fridge during this time that it needs to allow the individual flavors to develop. So this is me cutting out my Stollen. I didn't have that patience all the time because I'm demonstrating it to you. I let it out for just a couple of days and we were right at cutting the Stollen. So this is what you have. But if you leave it out for about a week, by the time you cut it out, your sugar should have, been absorbed into your Stollen and you will have it very, softer and tastier. But in this situation, right before you serve it, you may as well sprinkle a bit of sugar on top before cutting it out. That is how it's enjoyed over here in Germany. So just look at that amazing goodness. We have our fruity and juicy raisin in there. We have our candied orange, we have our candied lemon, and of course we have our marzipan. Marzipan is basically made of almond meal and sugar. So it's very tasty. Once you chew it, you have this almond or nutty taste to it, and it's amazing. It makes your Stollen very, very delicious. Because Stollen is a super rich delicacy, we don't enjoy it that much over here in Germany. You find it out in the Christmas season or at the early start to winter, and we enjoy it with Kinder Punch. In my home, we don't take alcohol, so we enjoy it with Kinder Punch. But most people also enjoy it with glühwein, and aside drinking Kinder Punch with our Stollen, we also take in tea, a lot of tea during the cold winter months, and we enjoy our Stollen with the Christmas flavored tea. I really do hope you give this recipe a try. It's very easy to make your own Stollen at home, and if you've tried purchasing one piece of Stollen from your bakery, freshly baked one, you can trust me, this may cost you about 50 euros to get your hands on this size of Stollen. If you buy it from the store, getting half a piece of this may cost you about 9 to 10 euros, but mind you, it comes with preservatives. So how best it is for you to make your own Stollen at home, enjoy it freshly baked, not freshly, you don't eat it freshly, but I mean you enjoy it being made from your own home by your own hands. Yes, your family and your friends are going to enjoy it. This is a labor of love, if I may put it that way. It's amazing, and they are going to enjoy this every time during the Christmas season and during the winter months. So I hope you give this recipe a try. I'm looking forward to bringing you other variations of Stollen, the chocolate glazed one, various variations of Stollen the next time I record it. Please do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Also share with your friends and family. And if you haven't done that yet, subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of videos coming your way in this new year. So let's just take a good look at our Stollen. It's so full, super delicious, and look at how it breaks apart. Very fruity, very delicious, very festive. Thanks so much for watching. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And as always, simple, easy, lekker. See you in the next one. Bye.